Good morning. Thought I'd give you another update on the processing here. We're getting close. I've got all the sap in. Had it in there for probably a couple hours now. And as you can see, I put my thermometer for when I fry turkeys in there. As we get closer to finishing, the syrup can get too hot real quick. And in just seconds, it can go from being just fine to boiling over. So you have to watch your temperature close. I've never used the thermometer before, but then I've also boiled it over. So I put it in. When you're close to finishing it off, you need to maintain roughly a temperature of 219 degrees. Finished syrup will boil roughly 7 degrees above the temperature that water will boil. And so I've just kind of been watching it, and like it, when I added the last of syrup, the sap, it dropped down to about 260, and I'm up right around around 210 right now. And if I can get down here and show you the burner, I've got it turned down about as low as I ever have that burner going. I'm going to keep boiling it down, get rid of for a while yet. I'm thinking when I get done, I'm going to have this thing boiled down about halfway. But it's getting close. When you first start out, the sap from the tree is between 2% or 3% sugar content. Finished syrup is about 86% sugar content after you boil off a lot of the water content. Thought I'd bring up this is the last quart of syrup from 2015. I think we maybe had 5 or 6 quart that I made in 2015, and that's the last one. That's a dark amber. That, well, maybe about a medium amber. And when I turn it like that, you can see. If you compare that to Mrs. Butterworth's is going to be a whole lot thicker. You can see it's still hangs on to the side of the jar. You might be wondering, what the world are we doing with Mrs. Butterworth in this house? Well, my wife was a lot slower to develop a taste for maple syrup, real maple syrup, than probably the rest of the family. You know, she didn't grow up with it. it was something different to her. So, and like for a lot of years, I didn't even mess around with boiling syrup. We didn't live out here originally. I didn't do it. Wasn't boiling, so you use what you could get. So Mrs. Butterworth log cabin, that's relatively cheap as opposed to buying a little bottle of real maple at the grocery store. But then I got to the point where I got to playing with the turkey fryer and making syrup here at home, and the more it was around, the more she got the taste for it. Now, if you look at the back of the bottle of Mrs. Butterworth's log cabin, any other syrup like that, the number one ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. Just like if you were to go to and look at the ingredients on a bottle of Coca-Cola or anything, it's the number one ingredient's high fructose corn syrup. This country produces so much corn that corn syrup is an easy way to manufacture sugar. So you'll find it. So anyway, nothing wrong with it. Too much of it, if you consume too much of it, it's an easy way to gain weight. But, it's a decent syrup if that's what you want to use. But I just like the real thing myself. Temperature maintaining right around 210. Still got a ways to go, but we're getting there. Next time I come back to you, I'll probably have syrup bottled and show you what that looks like when we get it in the jars. It's still too warm for the trees to start running again, but the weather's going to start changing. It's not going to be nice tomorrow at all, but long about tomorrow or possibly Saturday, they might start running again. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.